Okay, hello everyone. Sorry, there was a few minutes delay. Good evening. It's 9:48 p.m. here in Singapore, and we are going live now. So, welcome and welcome back to many people. It's almost like family. There are so many people here who are, um, they've come for sessions, the UN method. A couple of you have even had consultations with Dr. Yuen directly. But those of you who are new, for the newbies, just a little introduction about myself, Dr. Yuen, and the UN method. So I'm really happy, first of all, to present another edition of the live demonstration program. It's a series that Dr. Kam Yuen is doing globally, and I'm really happy to be hosting the Singapore edition of it. And here it is the eve of the Chinese New Year. It's a public holiday tomorrow. So we begin the new year with strength and alignment. So celebrating that, uh, to tell you a bit about myself, I'm a chartered accountant by profession and practicing in that capacity as well. But whatever circumstances, I had started exploring alternate healing systems, and out of curiosity, of course, many of us would have that interest. Different self-help, self-improvement tools, reading self-help books. So this was like just going on and on, and I learned many alternate healing methods as well. And it was a decade ago I got introduced to, a little over a decade, I got introduced to UN method. And I was so intrigued by it that I quickly learned the method for myself. I certified under Dr. Kam Yuen, and I started practicing. I've been practicing it for 8 years now. And I have to say this, that of all the methods that I've experienced, and of the many methods that I've learned, this is very fast and effective. So I can tell this, like, my involvement and conviction in the method has become firm, and increasingly, getting more involved, because it's actual results that we get time and again, irrespective of the person or the problem. So there is no question of, you have to have a belief in the system and then it works. Nothing like that. It's just results. And, every time it's like a science. And it's a fun fact that I'm always excited to share every time. UN in Chinese, I believe, means final resolution. And this is really final resolution, because it truly resolves issues from the roots. So, whatever may be the problem, we just have to process it step by step till it resolves. It's sure and steady. It's just pure, simple science. So I also have a little recording I'd like to share with you. This is from a person who has attended the live demo program, um, I think a month ago or so, and she has to say this. One minute. Okay.
From head to toe, heaviness in the head in the beginning. Hello, good evening. My name is Vani, and I would like to share my experience with respect to the strengthening that has happened to me, and the changes that I have felt after the strengthening that was done. I suffer with a lot of health issues, health conditions with severe body aches from head to toe, leading to depression and other family issues and all that. But after experiencing the last session with Sir, immediately when he was doing something on the other side, I stay so far away, and he was doing something on the other side. There was a slight heaviness in the head in the beginning, but later I had told him that I had body pains, and there was a change. I could feel a difference in it next day morning. Immediately when he was doing it, I had some slight heaviness in the head and feeling like that. But by next day, I could feel some change. And this strengthening has been happening. They've been doing this for me for quite some time. And I see a lot of change in my physical health. I was not able to get up and walk much. And, I used to experience a lot of backache. But now I'm able to walk at least 5 kilometers in a day, and my mind is very, very calm now. I'm able to talk about this to other people and try to experience this also now, just like me. So I wish that, when you are going through this experience, keep an open mind and experience it, and you'll definitely feel the change. Do not expect anything to happen in 60 seconds or 1 minute, but you'll definitely feel a change and you'll know what it is. Thank you.
So that was Vani. Thank you so much, Vani, for sharing that. So it's like that. So there are so many other testimonies which we can share with you later. So to tell you about Dr. Yuen, he is an octogenarian. He's over 80 years old, and he has been practicing for nearly 40 years. He's a doctor of chiropractic. He's a Shaolin grandmaster of Kung Fu and an aerospace engineer. I mean, it's like fantastic credentials. And his number one international best-selling book, Delete Pain and Stress on the Spot, it's available on Amazon. So this book talks about the principles of the method and how it's actually done. So anyone who wants to know more about it can just go through that book. And there are scores of material on online as well, in case anybody wants to explore that. In case of the UN method itself, it's a very simple process of step by step strengthening. So it's like you see the human body like a biocomputer with a series of like how the binary code, the zeros and ones in a computer, like that we have zeros and ones being strong, like a switch is on, like an electric switch. You switch it on, it is strong. If you switch it off, it's weak. So we are full of these codes, so zeros and ones, and weaknesses and strengths. So anything is a weakness, you switch it on and it becomes strong. So once you're strong to it, then the issue resolves. So if you're strong to resolving a problem, there is no problem, you only have the solution, right? So it works like that. So the first step is to identify the weakness. So what is causing that issue? So you identify the weakness, and then step two, you delete it. It's as simple as that, but it's very profound. And the more you immerse yourself in it, the more you realize how it's so comprehensive. It's very comprehensive. That has been my personal experience as well. So this is available to I mean, in the west. He stays in California, Dr. Yuen, and he has many shows, and he has done stage live programs. Nowadays it's all online, so this is equivalent to a stage program where he calls for volunteers who would like to come and resolve. So it's like that, this program. And he's doing this whole series so that people become more aware of such alternate become aware of such methods that is available for resolution. So the conventional thinking of the amount of time involved in resolving an issue, or the conventional thinking about certain things cannot be resolved, it's a lifetime thing. Like so many ailments, you take it for granted that it's a lifetime thing. But whereas with this method, you realize that there are no such limitations. Actually, it's limitless possibilities. We can process and resolve anything. Now, depending on how much time we have invested in a problem, it keeps building over time, right? So depending on that time, it's like that much it has taken root, so we process it that much and uproot it, that's all. So it's simple and very effective. And I'd also like to invite Mariam. She's here with me. She's joining. She's a fellow practitioner from Spain. A wonderful person and a fast friend now, Mariam Shubat. So, and I have Dr. Kam Yuen himself who's joining now. Hello, Dr. Yuen. Hello.
Hello, Geeta. How are you?
Hello, Dr. Yuen.
Good evening. I'm here.
I'm not sure if it's me, but the volume is quite low.
Okay. You sound, you sound pretty low and clear. So let me see if I could adjust my volume here. Okay. So.
Hello.
Hey, Geeta. I can hear everything really loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Yuen.
You're welcome.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. It's the eve of Chinese New Year. So we are so all eager to, for more strengthening and alignment.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So we have a few people who have sent requests. I'll try to go through as many as possible. There is Sujata.
Okay.
She says she has a very severe stress and panic that she gets into, especially regarding her heart and health. Sujata?
Yeah. Good evening, doctor.
She, oh, hi. Good morning. Well, good morning to me, but good evening to you, right?
Yeah, okay. Good morning. And the thing is, actually, I for the past 7 to 10 days, even if I am getting a small pain or something, my fear goes like anything, and I get anxious, and I couldn't sleep well. So,
okay. I mean, right now, throughout the day, you have some symptoms that you describe, right?
Yeah,
That's all you have to say. You don't have to go in detail because in many cases, when we speak too much about our condition, we actually make it worse, right?
Okay.
So talking about it, thinking about it, worrying about it, those are the human traits that increases when we don't delete the cumulative effect. Okay.
Okay.
So you could think about things in your life that that kind of make you nervous or stress you out, so to speak, right? All right. So we will process that by the numbers that there's 1,000 different things. So we're not going to name each one, right? So or describe them, and there's 50 unevenness on each one. So essentially, it's like 50,000 things that affecting you, in your life, and even during your sleep, right? So, and the effect on you is beyond infinite. When something is beyond infinite, once you recognize those numbers, that's beyond infinite, we have to strengthen it and then delete it down to zero, and even better than zero, minus infinity, beyond minus infinity, and ensure that your central nervous system is activated more than your mind. Okay, our mind is constantly activating and affecting our spirit, affecting our body. Okay, so Now, um, now in comparison, how is it in comparison now? It's the same or is it different?
No, actually now I'm feeling it's better. But the thing is, whenever it comes suddenly,
Well,
I seems to be
uh,
normal, but
no,
suddenly I get it.
you're better now. That's all you have to say. And when you specify other times, now suddenly is a different thing. When
Okay.
something is out of the ordinary, it is really specifically affecting you and not your thinking. Um, so things out of the ordinary, and that's kind of you inherit that from your ancestors. So we will just resolve that the same way. The effect on you is near beyond infinite. Now, so for everything to be working right, even your molecules and atom or quantum particles of your body has to uh, communicate among themselves, and also your cells among each other have to communicate, and inside your cells have to communicate as well, like your genetic profile, your DNA and chromosomes and genes that has to be on the same even um, influences with each other. And now, when you think about your past and your future, there should be a difference there. Is it any different to you, or it's the same to you?
You mean my future or?
No, right now, and if you want to think about the future, there's no concern about it, or are they still concerned? So it's different. Even if you're concerned about it, it's not the same amount. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for you. Okay,
Oh, okay.
all right. Are you different or not?
No, now my mind is free. I mean, I'm free from a thing,
Okay,
but
you're different.
at present I'm free. I'm feeling lighter.
Well, like I say, you just say different and be good enough for yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
because when you describe too much of what's what affecting you, then you bring up your own story, right? So it's great if you're going to be a screenwriter, right? For a movie, okay, about your life.
Okay.
Right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alpana, can you unmute yourself? Alpana? Okay.
Unmuted.
Yes. So Alpana has a pain in the right hip.
Pain where?
Good morning, doctor. This pain has been carrying on for, I think, more than a year. It radiates from inside my right hip and goes down on my thigh.
Okay. So that's been a year, and have you got any therapy, or you see a doctor about that, or?
Um, I go to a TCM doctor and he's diagnosed it as a
Okay,
spinal
just
problem.
say yes would be good enough. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I said you don't want any detail to confuse the situation. Okay. So even though your symptom come from that part of your body, it's really coming from another part of your body. In fact, multiple areas of your body kind of not supporting your hip. So structurally, you're off your shoulder and your torso and your chest region. Again, there's that's not communicating. That's why I introduced this SEA product for people to use after the Yuen method resolved their problem. Okay, so now, and that hurting sensation is really coming from your spirit and your mental thinking affecting your spirit. So we was just delete what the mind is influencing your spirit and also part of your body. Okay. Now, just just from that, the effect is a main percent of you, so it's not just 100%. Now, now, how does that seem like to you in comparison? Is it the same or is it different?
I can't really tell anything right now.
Okay, you know, if either you have the pain or you don't, okay?
Right now, no, I don't have the pain. I'm
Okay, then
sitting
you
on
don't
a
have it.
comfortable sofa.
Was that?
I'm sitting on a comfortable sofa.
Well, then make yourself uncomfortable and see if you
Okay.
have any pain, okay?
Okay. Yeah, it is there, slight.
So it's different, right?
Yeah, I'm walking, so I can feel it
Well, I mean,
inside
have
my.
a pain for more than a year, okay? So for a
Yes.
few seconds, you got better. So just accept that for yourself, okay? It comes from you.
Okay.
I'm just pinpointing where your problem is coming from for you to, you know, your physical intelligence to recognize that and resolve it. Okay, that's what you just did. Okay. All right. So if you familiar with taking products from Cheetah, you could ask her. Actually, her daughter could recommend you to have some. See a product to support what you did for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is Gopinath, and he has some fears. Gopi, you want to explain?
Yeah. Good morning, doctor. I'm Gopi. See, I have many fears in my mind. I couldn't able to make best out of me.
Okay.
I'm trying.
So you don't have to describe it. You know that you have a lot of fears, and you definitely want to get it down to zero minus infinity, beyond minus infinity. Okay. So that's the process. Now the fear comes from your mind, but your spirit have captured what your mind is projecting. Okay. And also your mind is psychically connecting with other people's mind, so reinforce that the emotions, not just fear emotions, but other emotions. In fact, fear is the least emotion that are affecting you. So you got like 20 different emotions that should be made as one emotions, even with each other. And the effect on you is 1,000,000%. And if you include your family, your ancestor, it's actually beyond infinite. And then once you have those numbers, then you strengthen your central nervous system to accept it. Your central nervous system, your internal computer that no one give any credence or recognition to. And once you give recognition to it and strengthen your central nervous system or activate it, then it will just process. Okay, now what do you think about the fears in your life now? Is it the same or is it different?
It's different.
Okay, good. So if you could perceive things like that, you can make everything happen in your life the way you want it to, right? So perception is totally physical, not mental or spiritual, okay?
Okay.
And
Thanks, doctor.
okay, you're welcome. So balance and to stabilize your central nervous system that includes your um, cervical brain and as well as your central nervous system going down to your sacrum and coccyx and and also your missing tail central nervous system that you're not used to hearing. Conventional thinking would not accept that because you can't see it, right? So, or feel it. But everyone has a missing tail central nervous system that that physically is not there, but there's a physical effect from that missing tail syndrome. Okay, so that's
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Dr.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Okay.
Next, we have Krishnamurthy. He has pain. They can describe Krishnamurthy.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Morning, Dr. Yuvan.
Hello.
Good morning, Dr. Yuvan. I'm
Yes.
Mrs. Banu Krishnamurthy. I'm talking to you on behalf of my husband. He has severe knee pain, and right from hip to toe, he has got pain, and both the
I
knees are paining.
mean, is he there now?
Yeah, here he's right here. He's now here. He's
Okay,
here,
so
doctor. He's with me, doctor.
so you're speaking for him, and he doesn't
Yeah,
have to. He
yeah.
doesn't have to.
Right
So,
from hip to
oh,
toe,
it's
he's got
easy.
pain, and both the knees are paining. Not able to walk much, doctor.
Yeah, can he speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Uh,
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good morning.
Good
So
morning, doctor.
essentially, you have
My
leg
throat is
pain.
not all right. I suffer from cough. I said I requested my wife to talk to you. And the problem is both the knees are paining.
Okay, essentially,
I'm unable to walk. Hip times
Yes.
and the hip to
so
knee is
essentially, you have
pain.
knee
I'm
pain,
unable
right?
to walk.
So let's
Okay.
let's keep
Yeah.
the description short, and that's how things get resolved easier and faster. Okay. So it's not like a detailed description gonna make it better. In fact, the detailed description actually hinder your recovery. So, so essentially, your knees bothers you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So both knees. So we will make the knees even with each other, so they communicate, and one part of your body communicate with another part of the body, and the feet um, also uneven, the ankles, the toes, and your lower legs. So as we, live on this planet, there's a lot of mental confusion. Get into the right communication that our body should have within itself. Okay, so both legs have to communicate back to your central nervous system, which is your computer, and your central nervous system communicate with your lower extremities as well as processing it and make sure that it's functioning normally for you. Okay.
Excellent, doctor. Thank you. Really very grateful to you for the kindness. Thank you, doctor.
Now,
I'm expecting fast recovery.
I will pray for my fast recovery from that because I was a very active person. Now I'm not able to be that mobile. That's why I requested you. I
I
bothered you.
can hear what you're saying, so you
Yes,
don't have.
thanks.
So
Thank you, doctor.
is it any different or the same?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
doctor.
you.
Thanks a lot. Million thanks.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you, Geeta.
I didn't get what he said because he talked more than he needs to talk, right? So
Yeah. So a request to everyone: keep it brief.
I
Both the
mean,
questions.
did he get better?
Uh, Krishnamurthy, do you feel better? Do you feel a change?
I feel little better because the problem is I'm unable to walk.
Just say yes or no.
No.
Okay?
Are you better?
I feel better. I feel better.
Okay.
See,
Let
the
us
thing
see.
that-
Let us see.
Let me wait for a day or two, and I will report to you, Dr. Geeta, my progress and my release from the medicine. You can
Okay.
convey to your mother.
Yeah, he's saying he's feeling a little better and he'll wait for a couple of days and then let us know.
It's no little bit better. No, either you're better or you're not. Okay, so you just let that
Okay.
go. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people's
Very
mind
nice.
restriction on themselves getting better. Okay, the
Yes,
physical
yes.
intelligence would just tell you you're better or you're not. Okay, that's it. Okay, is 1 and 0. Okay, you only have two choices. All right, there's no in between. All right, so let's take another person.
Yes.
Whatever they have.
Yeah. So
Question.
the Sai Ram, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, good morning, doctor. This is Sairam here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good evening
I
to
have,
you.
yeah, hi. And I have been having around 6 weeks edema on my left foot, which is impacting my, there's some edema which is touching the nerve. So there's a lot of pain in the left foot.
Okay, so essentially your left foot, you have pain, right?
That's right.
You're talking about the whole foot, or you're talking about a certain part of the foot, at the bottom, the top, or the whole foot?
Bottom of the foot between the last two fingers, there's
Okay,
edema
that's fine.
and yeah.
As long as you say that you give me a landmark, so the top doesn't bother you. So the top and bottom have to be more even with each other. So the same goes for your head and your feet. So your feet and head are not communicating at 100%. It's only communicated like 10%, and at worst, and you could communicate up to 40%. So once you recognize those numbers, you put it into your central nervous system and process that the effect is beyond infinite. So you have to bring back to this finite universe to resolve it, and that's what you're doing. Okay. Now, how's your foot pain that you have? Now, don't think about your foot. Let your foot tell you is it the same or is it different?
It's different.
Okay. So you're able to put pressure on it, move your foot.
Yep, I'm on a cast now. Yeah, which
Well, you
whatever
have a
movement I could.
cast.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, then you still could move, within the cast. You still could put pressure on it with your body weight. Now, what's that seem like?
yes, I'm able to.
Was that?
Yes, it's
It's
better now.
different.
It's
It's more.
different.
It's more comfortable.
Yep,
So you broke your foot, right? You have a cast on, or they think you
it's a
broke it.
semi-cast so that I don't put more weight on the left foot. So it's a semi-cast where I would be able to put
Okay.
the body. Yeah,
Yeah. You just have some extra support. Um, but once you gain the communication, um, you would do without the cast. So how long you've been having a cast?
for the past 4 to 5 weeks now.
Okay. So you could start weaning yourself off it when you don't have the pain or don't feel the pain, okay?
Thanks, doctor. That should be
Thank
great.
you.
That should be a great thing.
So I just
Thank
want people to know that they could take charge of their recovery, and that's essentially what it is, right? People don't need to be healed or cured of anything or getting treatment. Well, at least not from me, right? So I don't treat people because I've done that already. Okay, so I've been a doctor of chiropractor since 1986. So I have resolved, most likely be 1 million people in the world. Okay, so and you could do it for one person, you could do it for a group or organization, You could do it for a team. So that way they could perform better in a sport or in an occupation that they want to improve, or the company they work for. So you could learn this method, and it's like learning how to use your computer, and you could become the best consultant in in relationship, money and finances, um, in health and fitness, and you could also improve aging, so it would be less aging, and you could improve longevity for your, especially for your parents. Most people, when they're young, they don't think about longevity that much. Um, you could have mastery of time and not be overwhelmed by time. So you get to be in charge of your life, and you become the best consultant if you get your opportunity for formal education. You could catch up with all the people who have the education. Okay, in fact, go beyond them, because you have a computer that give you the answers, or connect you to the answers, and allow the answer to connect with you, and not just have educated opinion that doesn't resolve anything. So when things don't get resolved, that means the answer um, are not the right answers, and it actually make the condition worse. When you don't resolve it, then you have more questions than answers, and that is not education, right? So a lot of scientists, they make studies that they end up with more questions than answers, right? So, which is not a good direction to go, okay? So I've been a scientist myself long before these people was even born, right? So, and I have my own science, the science of immediate results, okay? If you don't get immediate results, then there's an insult to science, okay? And that's why I'm here um, to show people, Singapore and Asia, that we could do things, and not just follow people who has the highest education and the most famous named school, and they don't resolve the world's problem. In fact, they generate more problem for people because they don't um, resolve anything. All right, so they don't have the insight. They don't even know that you have an internal computer to resolve everything. Okay, so you could bring anything up in life, you could resolve it yourself. You just need to be trained some more how to use it. And that's what I give to people, okay? All right, so much for that. Okay, so you wanted to bring
Thanks.
something else in?
That's really insightful. Thanks a lot, Doctor.
Okay, you're welcome, okay?
Thank you.
So take this opportunity to do things differently, and not the same thing, and pass it on to your children and grandchildren, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean to all of the listeners, not just you personally, but all the people in the world, actually, okay? So, all right, do we have another person that wants to
Yes.
get the answer for themselves?
Yes. There's Hema. She would like to speak about her situation.
Okay,
Hi, good evening, Dr. Kam.
yes, pleased to meet you.
Pleasure, Dr. Kam. Thank you. Dr. Kam, I have been diagnosed with fourth stage cancer. It's been now over 8 months, and I am working towards
Part of
getting
your body.
myself.
You talking
Sorry?
about the whole body or certain part of your body?
Okay, it's appendicitis, which has led to a metastasis and has developed into my lungs, and I have a tumor which has grown up a tissue also. So because it has gone to different parts of my body, they are not able to operate. So I'm mostly on chemo.
Okay, so so how many chemo treatment have you gotten?
I was diagnosed in July 2019. From July 2019 to December, I had exactly 12 cycles. Then as of the end of December, they changed.
The thing is that we cannot cure cancer, and oncologists don't cure cancer either. So nothing need to be cured. So we would just have to get you to the point where you become restore back to normal self. Okay.
Yes.
So that means you have to start with somewhere that it troubles you. You have any physical symptoms that troubles you? That you talk about? You have lung cancer. You have difficulty breathing, or you don't.
Okay. No, I don't have any difficulty in breathing. I had a bloating which is gone. Now it's just the body has become extremely weak with the chemo because it still continues, and I am going into positive.
Just give me briefly the symptoms that you have. That I'm just going to lead you to strengthen yourself to your symptoms and delete the symptoms, so your body would have a chance to communicate within itself to restore itself back to normal. Okay.
Okay, so I will just share your symptoms, right?
Yeah. What kind of symptoms you have? You have.
Okay,
fatigue?
I have chest pain. I have
Okay.
sleepless nights. Body has become weak.
All right. All right. That's all you need to say. Okay, because those are typical. But you have a specific chest pain, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have chest pain, that would make you fatigue already, right? So, and of course, your fatigue could give you the chest pain too, right? It goes both directions, okay? So I would say your weakness, your general weakness in your body give you the chest pain, okay? So that's not cancer. I mean, people could have weaknesses just from, overwork or don't do any exercise. Now, when you look at your body communication, structurally going down to your quantum particles, the structure able to communicate, and your system is communicating, your physical system, but your organs are not communicating so as well. All right, so you got like 5 organs are not communicated among themselves, and then going down to the tissues, that's okay. The cells are not communicating. So it's like 60% of the cells are not communicate among themselves. And also inside the cells, the substructures, that's, I don't need to name all of them. I will just process it by the numbers, like the DNA and chromosomes. And, I don't need to say that. And then down to the molecules or your body, that's okay, but your atom could use more communication among themselves, and the quantum particles of your body is fine. So from the quantum particle up to your structure up to down to your quantum particles should be strongly communicating, and that's why um, I connect with the ASEA, the approach that they have to support people's communication. But the Yuen method would make it work better in a person's body. Okay, that's why I support that and endorse that. And now, just from that, how's your chest symptoms seem like to you?
I do understand what you've said, and I'm a little better these days. I've been feeling a little nice.
Well, I asked you the starting point. You told me you have a chest symptom, right? Now, is this the same or is it different?
It is different. It is different.
Okay, well, that's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So the improvement has to be different, right?
Correct.
So you know the different, that means you know what is going on, right? if you can't tell the difference when there's a difference, then you're lost, right? It's just like, driving in a car. If you don't know, the difference between one street to another street, then you're lost, right?
Correct.
So you have to know about your body, and that's your physical intelligence, your central nervous system will know the difference. Okay. Now, do you have any concern about your chemo treatment or the cancer? Do you have any concern about that? Mental concern? Yes or no?
Hema, you have muted yourself.
Sorry, my apologies. I have no concern on my chemo. I mean, I know I'm doing it from some really good doctors.
Okay, that's fine. Just say no, it's good. And what about having cancer, dealing with it?
Yes, it worries me.
It bothers you, it bothers your family too, right?
Yes.
And your family will also have to be strengthened because otherwise they continue to affect you, right?
Correct.
So we'll take the member of the family to process. There's a million different things going on, and a billion unevenness. So those sound like high numbers, but if you compare that with your cells in your body, there's 100 trillion cells, so that's not that high. And the effect on the family and you is 1,000,000,000%. So as I said before, once you recognize those numbers, then your internal computer or your physical intelligence would just process it down to zero. Okay.
Okay.
And now when you think about the starting point, how it bothers you and how it bothers your family and you, now what's that seem like? It's the same or is it different?
If I were to process, I want it different. Yeah. Different.
Right. So you're less concerned and bothered by the, by the word cancer, or your family is less bothered by it, right?
Yes.
And that's what you could do for, a serious condition in life. It doesn't have to be an illness. It could be, money and finances, could be relationships, could be employment or business. So all those things are improved by knowing yourself, like the old popular slogan is "Know thyself," right? So, and you know what you have in yourself, your intelligence, and get all parts of your body communicating. That's why I recommend the ASEA product, because they support that, support what we just did. Right? So that's why I recommend endorse the use of the ASEA product. And I use them myself on a daily basis. I found them to beneficial than if I don't use them. Okay, so that's something that that I want people to know, because that's what I want to set things up for people, so they also have a passive source of income for their children as well as for themselves. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Purnima. Purnima, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, if you can briefly describe your issue.
Hello, Dr. Yuen. This is Purnima here. Thank you for listening in. I basically am experiencing quite a bit of pain on both my pelvic joints, and
what
it
kind
is
of
pelvic joints.
Pelvis.
I didn't quite get that word.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Which one are you talking about?
The pelvic.
Pelvic joints. I'm having quite a bit of pain on both my pelvic joints.
Oh, pelvic. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it is quite challenging for me to sit down, especially on the floor. And it's been there for quite a few years, and I've just been ignoring it, but it's kind of increasing now.
You have pelvic discomfort or pain for a few years, right? So you would like to not have it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So again, it should start with your central nervous system. Well, it doesn't have to start there, but that is the most intelligent part of your body, and that's where your computer is. So we will just have to ensure that they are activated to communicate, or the cells there communicate among themselves. So right now, your central nervous system is communicating less than it ought to. Okay, and it's it's kind of jammed up by your spirit as well as your mind. Okay, so it's jammed up by your spirit first. So we have to clear your spirit of the accumulation of the mental conflicts and thinking of other people as well as yours. Okay, so we would delete the effect of your mind on your spirit, and then your spirit on your body. Okay, by weaken your recognition of your central nervous system. Okay, now the hip, in this case, also weakened by other joints in your body, your shoulder, your neck, and your sacrum. So we would get those structures to communicate with each other, and then have the communication going all the way down to the quantum particle of your body and back up. Okay. Now, how's your hip seem like to you in comparison? Is it the same or is it different?
It is different.
Okay, good. So you know that you could get things to be different when I, process along with you that you know what you need to process with your internal computer and recognize you have one. So most educated people in the world here would not give the credence that you have the internal computer. I mean, the world's population, probably less than 1% even recognize that this method could resolve people's problems, right? And if you don't recognize it and no one is doing it, they think what I'm doing is bogus, right? So I'm too old to care about that, right? So I've been doing it for over 35 years, and I got better recently than before, right? So, and I just want to share that with everyone, especially people in Asia. That's where I came from, and it's time that Asia gets some recognition of doing something that's other than pharmaceutical medicine, right? So, surgery and whatever they do, right? So that is not the state of the art to life, right? They may have state of art to certain things that need to be done, like sometimes surgery need to be done, but you get to the point where you don't, you don't even need to do that when your body is restored back to its normal self, right? Because we didn't come into this world to expect to have surgery, right? So.
I wouldn't want to get to that stage.
So you feel more comfortable now, right?
Yes, it is. And I will, yes, at the moment, yes.
Pass it on to others. As I said, if more people know about it, even if they don't learn about it, and I don't see why they shouldn't learn about it, this is about learning about life, right? So what we learn about life, from the teachers and the gurus, should be better, right? Should be knowing that we at least have a computer resolve things within ourselves, right? Or resolve the physical surrounding as well, so we could improve planet Earth and all the resources on planet Earth and all the life forms on planet Earth, right? Instead of having more problems than solutions, right? So we should end up with no problem, right? Of course, people think that you have no problem, that you are in denial or you're psycho or something. So, but you want to resolve them, okay? So thank you for being part of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have Aarti next. Aarti, can you unmute yourself? Aarti?
Okay.
Okay. So I go on to Shivani.
Hi, sorry, Geeta, can you hear me?
Yes, Aarti. Okay. Hi,
Yeah,
Aarti.
yeah. Hi, Geeta. Hello, Dr. Yuen.
Hello.
Yeah, my question was regarding my career. I had a break in my career and now I'm struggling to find a job.
Okay. I know you spoke English, but I'm not used to hearing. You want to look for a job, or is that what you said?
Yes, yes.
And what kind of job did you have before?
I was in the finance sector.
Oh, okay. All right. The reason you're not working there, you got to the point where finances gets to you in a negative way, right? So even though you're in a financial world or business or into finances, but does money and finances trouble you at all in your life?
No, it doesn't. It is just like I want personally to be financially independent.
The thing is that, well, you're not there, so it troubles you.
Yeah.
And it weakens you. That's why I asked you that question. And it doesn't bother you, and I say it does, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, it does.
Right? So this is your answer. It's not my answer, right? So
yes,
I look at your computer or perceive your computer that finances weakens you. So the more you work in that particular industry, the more you don't want anything to do with it, right? Even though you want the job that you're familiar with. So finances come from your ancestors that affect you and the rest of your descendants, as well as your generation from your ancestors, okay? So there's karma and negative experiences of finances that kind of got into their spirit, and their spirit affecting your spirit, affecting your mind, affect your physical surrounding, make it it's a struggle for you to be financially independent. So people could be financially independent just by being strong to money and finances and not weakened by money and finances, okay?
Okay.
Now, so besides money and finance, you got four other things that weakens you. That's relationship is the first one. The second one would be your career weakens you. You have things that you worked before that kind of well, even with finances, that is not your career, because it kind of weakens your purpose. Because keeping track of money, you should do that in your spare time, right? So now the effect on you is beyond, well, it's only beyond 100%. So we'll process that inside your internal computer. And now when you think about being financially independent or finding a job or occupation, what's that seem like now? The same or different?
Oh, it's the same.
Okay. So you say the same when some things are different, then you're lost. Okay. Now let's make sure that same, not the same, different, not different, changing, not changing, that you should not hesitating about changing. Also, when you're not changing, you're not going to accept it. It's going to be permanent, okay? So changing, not changing should be flexible in your mind, and you should not even have your mind influencing your physical surroundings. Money and finances is not in the mind, it's really your physical intelligence. Okay, now what you think about not having a job, and now what's that seem like? Does it still bother?
Maybe like now I feel a little bit neutral.
Well, it's no little bit neutral. Either you're neutral or you're not. Okay. So
Okay.
let's make it. When you say a little bit, in this case, is your spirit that affected by your mind, that you could only accept a little bit of changes, or a little bit of money, a little bit of good things in your life, right? So let's resolve that little bit out of you. Okay, it's either or nothing. So I usually say that to the female clients of mine or patients, that you can't be a little bit pregnant, okay? Either you are or you're not. Okay? No. So now does your state of your life still trouble you as before?
No.
Good. If you're not troubled, then you connect to the right answer and solution to your life, and you attract the things that you want, right? And it's good to be neutral using that word. Most people in the world do not use that word. They try to be positive, right, and not be negative. To be neutral is where you want to be. Okay.
Okay.
That means you're above it all, right?
Yeah.
So that's where all human beings should be. They should be godlike, that not affected by anything that's positive or negative, right? So positive, not positive, negative, not negative. And you want to be strong to all four choices. And to be neutral is the fifth choice, that you're strongly neutral, okay? Not a little bit neutral. All right, so thank you.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Geeta.
No, thank you. So next we have Shivani.
Right, so there's not just about pain or stress. You should be able to deal with all of that in a flat, right? It's not something that hinder a person's life and hinder them to live a fuller life. That pain does not define who they are, right?
Yes.
There's physical pain, but it comes from non-physical source, okay? Come from the mind, other people's mind, come from the spirit and other people's spirit, and could be your ancestors, or could be your descendants of your ancestors, and come from other members of the family first, and then the community, that we have to change the community. We could change the community and using the instant feng shui principle. So how common is feng shui in Singapore?
Yeah, very prevalent. There's
Okay,
feng shui,
so,
even the government consults.
all right, that's good. I could teach people to the best feng shui consultant
Okay.
Singapore and also the world, right? So we could
Yes.
change people's homes and neighborhoods, workplace, the schools. Um, we could change the neighborhood, as I said, the community, the neighborhood, the city, the country, and globally as well. Okay.
Yes.
So we put it out there. This is a modern version of feng shui. I'm familiar with the traditional approach. I studied it from Master Lavi Sang in Los Angeles, but he's from from Asia. And people, make, I mean, he makes $30,000 for a feng shui reading, right? In China that he goes to. Then of course, people in the U.S., would not pay $30,000 for a feng shui adjustment. But when we do feng shui, it would be immediate result, just like everything else. Okay, feng shui doesn't have to be slow, right? That's just from the traditional thinkers that you have to put a physical remedy, then you have to wait for that to change. You could change it within a minute, right? So that will set you apart from all the traditionalists that they have to calculate and measure, and they have to be physically there. You could do a feng shui change without even set foot in a person's physical place. Well, anyway, so when feng shui is immediate, when results are so immediate that it cannot be discounted or disputed by modern science, okay? Because feng be on the level of science, just like what I do in science. This is science of immediate results, right? I'm not going to spend years making studies, the double-blind study that I learned in grammar school, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's either you get result or you don't. Okay, if you don't, that means that you get your mind out of the way and spirit out of the way, and find the reason why you're not achieving immediate results, right?
Yes.
So we got a right to achieve immediate results in recovery and improvement of performance, whether it's a job or sports or whether perform or music, you could improve all that, okay? So you can improve your children's educational ability, and you don't have to change the educational system. You could make all the young people become good students, and even though they're not learning the thing that's right for their life, but they have the physical intelligence to know what is right, because they have a computer to tell them what is right for them or not right for them, or also for the family or the rest of the world. Okay, so much
Thank you so much.
for what I said. Okay, so we have another person want to.
Yes. Shivani, you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, hi. Good morning, doctor. This is Shivani here. For the last 1.5 months, I've been feeling stiffness in my heart, and I get very anxious. And
You say your heart?
yeah, yes.
Okay. Well, you're talking about your heart area, right? You mean your
Yes,
chest?
chest area. You're right.
Okay. All right. Now, what else?
And then I'm not able to sleep, and I just wake up
Well, if you
suddenly.
have a problem like that, of course, because you're not able to sleep, and also when you're not able to sleep, it will cause your body to have unevenness. But the symptom you have right now is the unpleasant sensation in your chest region, right, on the left side, right?
You're right.
Okay. So that would keep you awake, right? So, and that kind of get in your normal, life. So start with something that you have symptoms with, and use that as a starting point or a benchmark. Okay. So you may think it is coming from the left side of your chest because you have the symptoms there, but it's really coming from your internal organs, particularly your colon, your transverse colon, on more of the left side of your transverse colon, and your descending colon, and the rectal. So it's common for people from a diet that we consumed a certain food that cause minor or micro leaks in the colon. So So you could have a number of those minor leaks that you have you about 50 little micro leaks there. So if we pluck them all up down to zero minus infinity, beyond minus infinity, and that's why I recommend and endorse the product of a SIA that would support the changes that we just made with the Yuen method. Okay, now, and now how's your chest seem like to you just from that?
Yes, it is better.
You could get better immediately,
Yes,
right? If I didn't
immediately.
talk, you could have got better in a few seconds, right?
Immediately, yes.
Would have been strange if I don't say anything, right? So would be impolite. So you could have this done or this improvement done without speaking about how it's done, right? So now you could at least hear how it's done, and if you get a recording, you would at least have a working knowledge, and you want to share this working knowledge with others, right? So you could improve your occupation, right? Whatever occupation you're in, you be the best in it than anyone, and it doesn't matter where they graduate from, okay?
Right.
You would solve problems, right? And it doesn't have to like saying that you got all these connections and having graduate from a high profile university, like people in the USA is like that, they they, they cheat themselves going to name school, so that way when they speak, people listen to them because they graduate from a Ivy League college, right? Even though they can't solve anything, right? So, so as I said earlier, if you miss your opportunity for a formal education, that you still could be ahead of. I mean, it doesn't have to be you; it could be your other family members. They don't have to, judge themselves negatively because they didn't have the opportunity for a proper, formal education, right? So they still could excel beyond those who has, okay, by achieving results while others don't, okay? So I train people to do that. And also I train people to have prosperity in, Chinese, well, I know we're not speaking the Chinese, but the Chinese New Year, lunar, well, it should be a New Year because it's not just the Chinese celebrated, right? The Vietnamese and other Asian um, countries celebrate that. So it's always wishing people um, to have wealth and prosperity, right? So, but that include, of course, better relationship, because it's hard to have wealth if you don't get along with, your fellow human beings, right? And and also, if you have health issues that bothers you, or you have symptom that bothers you, kind of distract you from connect strongly to money and finances, and money and finances connect with you because we have more money surround this planet than air itself, right? So we just don't recognize it. We think it's so difficult to achieve it, and it was like that. Our ancestors, didn't have an opportunity. Either you were born in wealth, or they stole other people's wealth, right? Instead of just generate it for themselves, or for the world too. Okay, so anyway, so much for my speech, right? So thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
So you got better with your chest, right? So
Yes,
just,
thank you so much, doctor.
you're welcome. So share with others, right? This is not crazy. Crazy is to live with it, right? Crazy is to live with it and don't recognize you could resolve it, right? And you don't have to believe in it. In fact, it's better people don't believe in it, right? You just recognizing the potential that we have without physicality, right? Our kinesiology and also our um, physiology or functional anatomy, that you could change things with your central nervous system. That's functional anatomy. That you recognize your central nervous system. It's your computer that it would monitor every part of your body and make sure that they're communicating and they're functioning effectively. Okay, so if we have someone else waiting,
Yeah. There's Anjali. Anjali, you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah. Happy Chinese New Year, doctor. My
oh, thank you so much.
my issue is for a few years I've been having this issue with breathing. I cannot take a long breath
Okay.
properly.
Well, you don't need to say anymore, right? I mean, if you have that, and if you're in someplace in the USA, they will say you have corona, right? Or check you out for that, right? So, but you have it before corona, right? So,
Yes.
okay. So right now you have symptom not have a normal breathing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be a pulmonary doctor to tell you what you need to do and have machines and all that. I mean, do you have a little machine to improve your breathing or not?
No, no machine.
Okay, that's fine because doctors could recommend you for that, right? So, but I'm just saying, right now your breathing is not coming from your respiratory organs or the respiratory system. Again, it's come from in this case, the digestive system have some micro leaks there, especially at the end of the digestive system, or the end of the small intestine, and also the beginning of the large intestine. So your method would just go into your computer, and your computer give me the answer. I don't have the answers. The answer come from you. Now we would pluck up the micro leaks there, and and the effect on you is 1,000%. So it should be down to zero minus infinity. Beyond minus infinity, your inhalation, exhalation is good. Um, all the organs that you have in your body should be able to communicate better with or among themselves. So you got like 5 organs kind of need to tune up and communicate better, and the tissue as well, and the molecules and the atoms, and the external structure of your body also should be stronger. Okay, now take a deep breath and see what that seemed like to you in comparison.
It seems very clear.
Okay. So you didn't have to live with it for years, right?
No, definitely not.
So that's why, you owe people to let them know about it, right? I mean, we should have people, so many people that we couldn't know how to deal with them, or I couldn't, right? So that's why I train people you know, to deal with them, besides myself, right? So we should have more people in the world to, resolve people's problem, whether it's in their body, outside their body, or everything that define what life is. We could improve lives um, by processing it this way instead of thinking about it as a problem that cannot be resolved, right?
Yeah.
If you try to resolve problem with your mind, you will always find yourself, well, not just yourself, but people find themselves not able to resolve things. You can't resolve things with your mind. The mind will only point out the problem for you. So it's your physical intelligence, not just your brain, it's the rest of the central nervous system that have to be turned on, as like you turn on a computer the computer will give you the answer, connect with the answer, okay? I have no answer, right? The
Mm.
answer comes from you,
Mm.
okay?
Yes, doctor. Thank you so much.
So thank you for the experience of, resolving things, okay?
Okay, doctor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Okay,
much, Doctor.
so how we doing? We still have people waiting. We could resolve people as a group, but
Yes, yes.
today we just want to do it individually, so they have an individual experience instead of group experience. But group experience is actually better
Yeah,
to get used to it, because it's like it's better to have a team behind you instead of you doing it all yourself, right? So,
yeah, yeah,
or,
yeah.
by yourself. So we
So,
take another person that want to make improvement by himself or herself.
yeah. So there were people, they have asked about fears mostly. There are a few who couldn't join us because they had work related
Okay.
engagements. So maybe we can strengthen as a group.
Okay. So the fear is not the leading emotions in that part of the world. So it's not really emotions; it's just reactions. So so I would say uh, when people reacting to others, um, you still have a tendency to be affected by it. Okay, since some of these people are not here, I mean, in this program, use you as uh, the starting point, right? So when you see people reacting to other people, it may seem like emotions, but they're mostly reactions. When people react to others, um, does it make it unpleasant for you to see that?
Yes.
Okay, so let's lower the level of the effect of reactions. So especially reaction in the mind and spirit, the reaction belongs in the body, and that's how other living creatures, we think they have emotions, but they have reactions only. Okay, they could only have uh, emotion if they have a mind. Of course, the spirit, the emotion in the spirit is caused by the mind. So so this reaction in the mind of people, so we have to remove the reaction from the mind, because right now there's a reaction in the mind 1,000 times more than it ought to be. So once the computers recognize that, it would go down to zero minus infinity, beyond minus infinity. So how's your seeing other people reacting to others? Now, what's that seem like to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. It doesn't bother me.
Okay. And you want not to be bothered, A lot of times you can't help except to be bothered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, in my younger years, I'm bothered by a lot of things, right? So, because I inherited that from my ancestors, right? They didn't know any better, right? So humans just didn't know any better. We think we know everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's better not to be bothered by things or troubled by things. And you're not in denial. You're truthfully not affected by things, and you truthfully stay neutral and not your mind and spirit gets in the way of your physical potential. So the whole planet is based on physical principles, um, not mind and spirit. Okay, because it's based on physical intelligence. It could resolve anything you bring up. Right? The computer could resolve anything you bring up. You just have to know which program you're going to use. That's all. So that's from experience. And also download, right? So people, um, come and take a short course from me. they would get financial return many times over, and not just financial, but they could be happier with their life and happy with their family and their work, and that's what need to be resolved, and they would have more certainties in their life instead of uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
They will have more success in their life instead of failures that they don't know that's been affecting them. So you have a lot of teachers, teach people how to learn from their failures, right? Only learning from your failures how to delete them, okay? The effects of them. You don't learn from your failures. The failure will just make you more of a failure. And then you have to discipline your mind not to be bothered by it, right? So
Yes.
those are not good teaching. Right? Those perpetuate the problem. Right? So, well, anyway, do you
Okay.
want me to get into anything else besides?
I mean, if you are okay, children, when they are in trouble, it bothers a lot.
Okay, so children, it bothers the adult a lot because when they were children, they were in trouble because they don't know what's going on. They don't know if they should listen to the adults teaching or not, right? So let's make it so they don't have to listen. They would just be exposed to it, right? So if they turn on their physical intelligence, they just record all the experiences, right? They don't have to be taught. No one needs to be taught. We already know everything, right? We
Yes.
just now know with our computer, once you recognize that, it's like you have a camera, you record everything, and how can you forget, right? So you don't need to memorize some things, right? Of course, the adults want their children to study, right? Hey, there's no need to study, right? If you turn on your um, internal computer, it's like you have a computer to record everything, right? What you need to memorize anything for, right? So, okay, now how's
Yeah.
it now? You think about your children
If
getting.
it feels different, they don't seem vulnerable. It feels different.
So we have to introduce this to a new generation, and of course, the old generation could become the new generation also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like almost like reborn, right? But not reborn, but you know what I mean. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and we just have to discard the things that didn't work, right? And not insisting that that approach of of dealing with problem been around for thousands of years, so it must be good, right? Even though it didn't resolve anything, right? So anyway, I don't mean to break any rules, but I just want people to be open to themselves, and the people that came into the program, they are open to themselves. They didn't come in and contradict with their mind, that this is crazy, right? No, the craziness is to live with your symptoms, that you could resolve them the next few seconds when you know what's going on, right? So that's why I endorse the ASEA product because it supports what the UN method does. So it's not just an extra thing,
Yeah.
and so give people the opportunity to have residual income or passive income, not just for themselves, for their children. Um, so they should not be any concern about where the next um, amount of finance is coming from to pay for the education or whatever, right? So it's people that keep the money flowing, uh, among the people in the world, and then there would be no poverty, right? So it's not just giving donation and don't change the situation, right? Give donation is good, but people should allow changes. Uh, that's different, right? So So I bring on the table that's something that's different. If it's something that everyone is doing, then I don't need to be part of that. Right? So why I'm still part of it in my old age is because I want people to accept the difference and make it, more commonly accepted, because it leads to results. So it's not like, some people are so highly educated they get mad when you get results from them, right?
Yeah.
But you could change them. So they wish they wish they were the one that discovered it, right? So, but we all have discoveries, right?
Yes.
So I'm up in age, and so it doesn't matter, right? So I
You're
would have
fine.
more,
Yeah.
I would have more criticism when I'm younger, but the old criticism is still there, so I should just delete that, right? The opportunity. That of course people kind of grew up with me. That if they still are alive, they think I just know how to talk, right? That I convince people to get better. Well, if I could do that, it would be okay too. But I could make people better without saying a word, right? So you don't have to hear it. You don't even have to know the translation, right?
Yes.
So, that's why it's good to you have different part of the world have different languages that the inhabitant of that country don't know what I'm saying, but they got better, and then you get the translation if they want to care about the translation, right? So,
Yes. Now, there's a specific person who came back and told me after last month's strengthening you did. She said, I didn't understand what he said, but my pain went away.
okay, it's never about understanding, right? Understanding is just an excuse for not solving anything.
Yes.
You have to know all the steps, and all the steps that doesn't go anywhere, but you have understanding that you still have a problem, right? So when there's
Yes.
no problem, then you don't understand it, right? Because then you're not standing behind under something, right? So that word
Yes.
itself, that's why it's not a good word, because they're either standing under the umbrella, they don't know what's going on around them, right? Or they're standing under a bridge or the highway overpass. Again, they don't know what's going on around the world, right? So
Yes.
standing under something, that means you're in denial about knowing everything, right? So our
Yes.
physical intelligence would connect with all the answers, even if you didn't study that subject, okay? So you connect with the right sequence to resolve, technical questions and problems, even though you didn't get a graduate study on it. Right? In fact, people who graduate study on it, they pretty much stuck. But it's good to have the experience that you could claim that you've been to school and had graduate studies. But as I said before, if you miss your opportunity, you don't try to go back to school when you should, when you have a family, and you don't need that recognition, right? You just have to
Yeah.
be the leading person among the group, whether your fellow students or co-workers, because you will get to the answers that they're still asking the question about. All right, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yuen.
Happy Chinese Lunar New Year, Dr. Yuen.
Thanks a
Year of
lot.
Ox.
Gong Shiva Chai. Happy Chinese New Year.
Thank you. All right, so celebrate in Singapore, right? There's enough Chinese over there, right? So,
Yes, yes.
okay, so talk to you again.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Yuen. Thank you once more.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all. Cheers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was wonderful of Dr. Yuen. He has spent so much time with us. Thank you, everyone, once again, and we'll connect back soon. So, any links or any info you can look for in the comment box in the YouTube channel, the link that I had sent. Thank you once again, everyone. Good night. Mariam, thank you so much. Yes. Thank you.